NASCAR just exploded, and not because of a crash, but because drivers are calling out the sport like never before. The Iowa race was supposed to be just another Sunday showdown. Instead, it became a war zone of egos, chaos, and shocking radio outbursts that might have just ripped NASCAR wide open. Kyle Larson came into Iowa with momentum, fresh off a strong second-place finish at the Brickyard and chasing the regular season title. Things were looking good. The fifth car was fast, focused, and ready, but all of that went downhill fast. Right from the start, Larson found himself in trouble, not with a rival, but with his teammate, Chase Elliott. On almost every restart, they ended up side by side, slamming doors, fighting for track position, and refusing to back down. Teammates? You wouldn't know it by watching them. But that was only the beginning. With under 100 laps to go, Larson got into it with Christopher Bell while battling for sixth. Bell wasn't having it. He gave Larson a bump, nearly spinning him out. Larson lost multiple spots in seconds, and then Ross Chastain piled on, pushing through and adding another hit to Larson's battered car. At that point, Kyle had had enough. Over the radio, he exploded. "Fuck every single one! Damn it!" Moments later, Bell spun out in another crash. Still furious, Larson yelled again, "How much room do I have to leave people? I've been trying to be good to my teammates, and it hasn't gotten me anywhere in the last hour." His crew chief, Cliff Daniels, tried to calm him down, but it was no use. More chaos followed, more damage, more pit stops, more frustration. When the checkered flag waved, Larson limped home in 28th place, a brutal hit to his championship hopes and his pride. If NASCAR had a chaos leaderboard, Carson Hocevar would be lapping the field. At just 21 years old, Hocevar has already established a reputation as one of the most unpredictable and aggressive drivers on the track. And Iowa? It might have been his masterpiece, or his mess. Depends on who you ask. Let's start with Zane Smith. Early in the race, Hocevar got loose under him and flat out dumped him into the wall. Smith's car was toast, but it didn't end there. Zane tried to return the favor later on, swiping at Hocevar's car to get some payback. But he missed. Swing and a miss. Now, most drivers would be on edge after that. Maybe apologize. Maybe brace for retaliation. But Hocevar, he casually came over the radio and said, "Nice try. No remorse, no fear, just another day at the office." Then, after the race, it got spicy. Zane Smith's crew chief, Ryan Berganti, was fuming. He stormed Hocevar's post-race interview and snapped, "When are you going to learn to drive, dude? You wiped us out." And he didn't stop there. According to reporters, Berganti added, "Our car is wrecked because you drive like a fucker." Straight to his face, on camera. Now most drivers would argue back, or shrink, or walk away. But Hocevar, he just stood there, calm, silent, almost amused. Later that day, he posted a photo on Instagram of a ticket dispenser, you know, the kind from the DMV, with the caption, "Please take a number," and the background music, IDF by Drake, which, yes, stands for I Don't Give a. It was cold, it was calculated, and it was pure Carson Hocevar. He finished 8th in that race. Meanwhile, Zane Smith finished 36th, dead last. So yeah, chaos follows Hocevar, or maybe he creates it. But either way, he's not running from it. He's owning it. If you know Shane Van Gisbergen, you know he's not the type to lose his cool. He's calm, calculated, and one of the smoothest drivers on the track. The guy's a road course wizard, a 3-time Supercars champion, and he carries himself like a veteran who's seen it all. But even SVG has a breaking point, and Iowa was it. During one of the most intense moments of the race, Shane was running clean, tucked just inside of Joey Logano. Logano was holding the high line, everything under control, until Carson Hocevar came flying in like a wrecking ball. Hocevar forced it 3 wide in a corner that had no business going 3 wide. He dove down low with zero regard for spacing, shoving SVG into the middle and leaving him sandwiched between 2 cars at full throttle. SVG managed to avoid wrecking, barely, but he had seen enough. He got on the radio and dropped a line that fans won't forget anytime soon. Go apologize to the 22nd. That wanker in the 77th just shoved it 3 wide. Wanker, yeah, you heard that right. The cool Kiwi wasn't holding back anymore. What's important here is not just the insult, but who said it. When a guy like SVG, who usually keeps things measured and professional, calls someone out like that mid-race, you know the chaos is hitting new levels. He didn't blame Logano for the contact. He didn't complain about bad luck. He put it squarely on Hocevar, the same guy already beefing with half the field. SVG survived the moment and kept racing, but the message was clear. Even the quiet ones are getting tired of the madness. And when they start speaking out, NASCAR better start listening. What happened in Iowa wasn't just a bad day at the track. It was a full-blown identity crisis for NASCAR. You've got top-tier drivers like Kyle Larson snapping on the radio, fed up with how people are racing. You've got teammates bumping each other like bitter rivals. And then you've got someone like Carson Hocevar diving into gaps like it's a demolition derby, not a race. The old-school respect? It's wearing thin. Drivers used to give space, race clean, and handle problems behind closed doors. Now, it's radio rage, Instagram trolling, and post-race screaming matches. Iowa felt less like a race and more like a boiling pot finally overflowing. And here's the real problem. This isn't a one-time thing. It's happening more often. The aggression, the personal beefs, the explosive interviews. It's like every driver is one bump away from a meltdown. Larson asked, "How much room do I have to leave people?" That's not just frustration. That's someone questioning whether fair racing still exists. Even Shane Van Gisbergen, one of the calmest drivers out there, called Hocevar a wanker for his risky move. When the cool guys lose their cool, something's broken. The bigger question is, does NASCAR want clean racing or chaos that goes viral? Because right now, it's riding a dangerous line between both. And if Iowa is any hint, that line is getting thinner by the lap. Let's talk about the guy in the middle of all this madness, Carson Hocevar. Some fans think he's a menace, a loose cannon who wrecks cars and ruins races. And honestly, they've got a point. From punting Zane Smith into the wall to nearly triggering a wreck with SVG and Logano, the dude has a growing list of enemies. Crew chiefs are cussing him out on live TV. Other drivers are losing their minds over his antics. But here's the thing, he doesn't care at all. And that's exactly what makes him so compelling. While others are breaking under pressure, Hocevar's dropping memes. While some are trying to keep it clean, he's making every lap a statement. Love him or hate him, you're watching him. And maybe that's what NASCAR needs right now. Because let's be real, this sport has been desperate for fresh energy, for someone unpredictable, someone who doesn't just race hard, but races loud. And Hocevar, he's that guy. He's not afraid to speak his mind. He's not backing down from conflict, and somehow, in all the drama, he still finished 8th at Iowa, way ahead of the guys yelling at him. So is he a villain? Maybe. Is he toxic? Depending on who you ask. But is he shaking up the sport in a way that has everyone talking? Absolutely. Whether he's wrecking people or winning races, Hocevar is forcing NASCAR and its fans to pick a side. And maybe, just maybe, that's the spark this sport needed. NASCAR isn't just fighting for position on the track anymore, it's fighting for its soul. As the chaos ramps up, one thing's clear, the drama isn't slowing down. So, is this the downfall or a new era? Either way, buckle up, because Hocevar's just getting started.